Hello, my name is Eugene. Before the podcast starts, I want to let you know where you can find our podcast. We're on all podcast platforms, so make sure to follow and subscribe to our channels as well as give us that 5-star rating. You can also check us out on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock to get updates about episodes and previews of our show. All of the links can be found in our description. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome back to the Spin the Rock podcast. I'm your host Angel, and with me today is
Eugene?
And Vaughn.
all right. We are back. I took a little Thanksgiving break, but now we're back to do November All Stars. I'll get into what that is later, but first we're gonna go over standings and games we've watched. So I think I'll just kick us off with the West standings since I already have it here. And we'll just go 1 through 10. And before we get into the East, we'll also talk about what we think of the standings. So coming in at first seed for the West, we got Minnesota Timberwolves. Second seed, Oklahoma City Thunder, Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks, Sacramento Kings, Los Angeles Lakers, Houston Rockets, New Orleans Pelicans, and the Golden State Warriors. And you don't have to say out of that 10 who you're surprised about, but like overall, who are you surprised with where they're at in the standings?
Me personally, probably the Warriors, but then at the same time, it's not really a surprise because, the whole Draymond suspension thing, and I still feel like the whole Chris Paul, I don't necessarily know how to feel about it, but I don't know if it's coming to fruition like they thought it was going to. But definitely seeing the Warriors that low is pretty surprising.
It doesn't help that it's like Steph Curry leading scorer 30 points a game and second leading scorer Klay Thompson 15 a game.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the Warriors are, especially because at the beginning of the season they looked good. In our one of our episodes where we talked about overreactions and stuff like that, we mentioned the Warriors being better than we thought, but they quickly came back down to earth because it's just Curry, and it seems like every day there's a different picture of him exhausted on the bench.
Right.
I'm gonna say the Suns at 3, considering they've had injuries to their big 3. We still haven't seen all 3 of them play a game since preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either been Kevin Durant holding it down, and now it's been Devin Booker holding it down. And was it just yesterday he scored that game winner over the Knicks? So
Yeah,
he's making do with a bench that we really thought was going to struggle, but somehow they find a way to get number 3 in the standings.
It's that Frank Vogel coaching, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue the entire top 3 is insane: Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Phoenix.
Right. Especially in that order.
Yeah. Yeah, the Suns are really surprising as well. I feel like I thought the injuries would ruin them like it did to the Nets, but I guess they just have better depth and the stars are just playing better. For me, I'm going all the way down to 15 because I knew the Spurs were going to be bad, but they're on a 12-game losing streak, dude. And I don't know what the record for most losses in a row is, but 12 games is still kind of insane.
12 is pretty bad.
And I expected them to be bad, but I didn't expect them to be this bad. I've watched a couple of Spurs games, and we'll get into that later. But it seems like everybody on the Spurs is a Wemby hater. It seems like his own teammates are Wemby haters, bro. I've seen him getting passed up for open looks. It's kind of hard to watch the Spurs right now.
Yeah, they're a really weird team composition. I don't think Trey Jones is their ideal point guard. And then they give a lot of that responsibility to Jeremy Sohan for some reason as well, even though he's more of a power forward. So just naturally, Wemby's probably not going to get the open looks had he been playing with a Chris Paul, like a true point guard.
Yeah.
But this record, something's got to change. They got to start giving that man that ball.
No, facts. They're gonna be the reason why he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, bro. Like catching the lead right now, and Wemby's on the completely other end of the standing.
It's crazy though, because even with this, like even with how the Spurs are playing, he's still all over the feed. Wemby, you know.
Yeah, well, he's having a good season still. Like it's crazy because it's like he's having a really good season, but it's just like it's not doing anything
It's
for
not good
them.
enough.
No, it's not at all. All right. Who wants to hit us with the E standings?
I can
I
do
can
it.
do it.
Oh,
Okay.
it don't matter.
All right, I got it right here. Number 1 Celtics, 2 Magic, 3 Bucks, 4 Sixers, 5 Pacers, 6 Heat, 7 Knicks, 8 Cavs, 9 Hawks, 10 Nets.
I feel like we have to talk about the Magic.
Yeah.
This complete 180 from our predictions. In our tier list, we had them poverty.
It sounds like a King's Part 2, bro.
It really is looking like a Kings Part 2. Yeah, 7-game winning streak too. They're hot right now.
Against good teams. I'll list them off real quick. Let's see where it goes back. Okay, so they won against the Bucks, 112-97. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the start. Where's the start? Okay, they won against the Bulls by 2, back-to-back against the Bulls. Won against the Pacers, who are actually pretty hot as well. Magic versus the Raptors, they won by 20. They beat your Nuggets by 5. The Celtics, they blew them out 113-96. Jeez, bro. The Hornets by what is that? 13. And yeah. Tomorrow they play the Wizards. That'll be a win.
The Magic are who I thought the Pistons were going to be, and the Pistons are at the bottom of the barrel in the East. Like,
yeah.
The Magic are crazy, and I don't know how this came to be. Like, they're a top 3 defense in the league, and this is without Markelle Fultz and Wendell Carter Jr. even touching the court. Like, they've been out with injuries. So they definitely deserve some praise.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that I don't know what they could have changed because they didn't change anything. I don't even think they changed head coaches. So I think I'm just surprised at the fact that they didn't change anything or like add or subtract anything other than I guess Joe Ingles. But what is he gonna do? You know? But yeah, they just completely flipped from last season. So it's good to see. Hopefully they can keep it up at least till All-Star break. But will we see a playoff run? Gotta wait and find out.
The Magic, and when was the last time the Magic was in the playoffs, bro? That's gotta be the Aaron Gordon days.
Yeah,
either that or maybe even as far as Dwight.
I think it was 2019 because I remember DJ Augustine going crazy against.
That's right.
So that's like, was that Oladipo or was that Vucevic?
That was Vucevic era.
Yeah.
I guess my surprise here would be the Cavs. I don't know if they're gonna course correct as well as I thought they were gonna be because I said they were gonna be like a top 3 team, and it's just injuries all the time. Like whether it be Jarrett Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and I thought they'd have more chemistry at this point, but like they don't even play with each other considering all those injuries. So it's kind of hard to build off of that. This is a team I really want to see succeed in the playoffs because I like Donovan Mitchell, but in some ways they kind of look better without him because Darius Garland involves everyone else more, and Donovan Mitchell is like pure scorer. He makes those tough shots, and he's going to take tough shots. He's going to miss them. He's going to make some. So they definitely have things to figure out on that end.
Um, I guess I don't really have a surprising team, but if I were to name one, it would honestly probably be the Bucks because now a 7-game winning streak is, props to them or whatever. But like, how were you not top two? I understand, you lost some key players or whatever, but they're also taking bad losses. They lost to the Hawks by 17. They lost to the Raptors by almost 20. I think that's 19. Um, they lost to the Pacers by 2, so that's kind of unfortunate. Lost to the Magic somehow with Giannis. Like who's guarding Giannis against the Magic? I don't know. But I don't I feel like they still probably don't have like all that much chemistry, especially since we're still pretty early in the season. Um, only like what 20 games, something like that in the
Pretty
season.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm not necessarily worried. But hopefully, at least we can stay healthy. For a good amount of the season. That way, we don't really have to worry about other teams going forward. But I just don't understand how we're losing to these bad teams like this.
I don't know if their head coach is on the right page for a team like that quite yet because this is his first year as a head coach.
Right.
So I feel like there's always obvious solutions, like more pick and roll, get Dame and Giannis involved in plays together as opposed to just drawing up a play for one or the other. Not to mention like a defensive scheme. Malik Beasley should not, like I've said this in the past, he should not be their primary defender on good guards. That's insane to think he'd have any positive impact on that end. But if they don't figure something out, I think the only thing they could do is like trade for better defenders if they can't scheme up something better.
Yeah.
It's just we have to see how this team is later in the season compared to where they are now. But that's like a waiting game.
Right.
Yeah, right now it just seems like it's the Dame and Giannis show. So, and it's also like not even Dame and Giannis at the same time. They're taking turns being good. So I think once they like work together and maybe the talent that they have on the team starts stepping up more, we'll see a change. But I mean, like the only problem with third seed in the East is that like it's so like you're basically if you're not first seed, you're basically gonna struggle in the East because so many of those like 4, 5, 6, like they're good teams, and so is like second seed as well. So I just feel like if you're not first seed, you're gonna have a hard time in the East.
Right.
So I do hope they pick it up because I want to see the Bucks for a long time in the playoffs. I don't want to see them to go out in the first round again.
To an 8 seed.
Yeah, so I really do hope they figure something out because right now they don't look like a terrifying team.
Right. At least not as terrifying as they should look.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. What games have y'all been able to catch?
Well, I got to see the Magic against my Celtics actually crush them. Like at first, it looked like officiating was kind of bad, but then like this Magic defense is legit, and I didn't know why they were legit, but they play good team defense as opposed to like on-ball defenders. So they were like forcing the Celtics to turn the ball over like way above their average this season. And they were like forcing mistakes, just like bad shots. And, it's such a complete turnaround as opposed to like everyone's kind of like doing their own thing. And now they kind of look like a team. So that's kind of my takeaway from them.
The only game I watched was the Lakers and Cavs. We won that game. It was kind of a nail biter, but we ended up winning by like it was like 20 or something. AD, I finally got what I was asking for. He had like 30 and 10 or something like that. He had a pretty good game. Austin Reeves had a pretty good game. LeBron doing LeBron things. So overall, I was happy with their play. Just need to keep that up, bro.
See, I watched Nuggets Spurs yesterday. Easy W. Nuggets though, it seems like without Jamal Murray, we're not a good team. He's out with a hamstring right now, and it just seems like we're losing to teams like the Rockets, bro. And I know that's like not that bad because they're not as bad as we thought they would be, but it's like the
Still the
NBA,
Rockets.
yeah, it's like we just came off the ship losing to the Rockets, and I think that's like the second time this year they beat us too. They beat us they beat us twice already. So I don't know if it's just the Rockets somehow figured us out or something, but it's just not a good luck for us right now being fourth seed. Jamal Murray's out, so and he's also not gonna return anytime soon. So that's not good either.
Right. Like I feel like, he came back from his injury late last year. Played in the finals, and then he was basically fully healthy at the start of this season.
Mhm.
And then that's when we started seeing like they're at, peak chemistry.
Mhm.
So now that he's out, obviously that reduces a lot of it. But yeah, it does suck to see, but hopefully he comes back as soon
Yeah.
as possible.
That's interesting that the Rockets beat Nuggets twice, and it makes me think if Ime Udoka has something up his sleeve to like make it harder on Jokic as compared to other head coaches.
I don't know, bro. Jokic
He's got-
got a triple double one of those losses.
The secret up his sleeve is Dylan Brooks, bro.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is just like the Jokic stopper. All right, any more games? Okay, then moving on. Our topic today is November All-Stars. Last year we did this too, but if this is your first time tuning in for one of these, basically what it is we look at the best players from only the month of November. We go East and West, the starting five, point guard, shooting guard, yada yada yada, and we basically try to agree on this. On the All-Star team, it's supposed to be the Spin the Rocks, November All-Stars. So we'll try to agree on some of this, and most of the time we do, but you never know. The NBA is interesting this year, so who knows how much is going to be up and down. So we're going to start with the West standing. So start with East All-Star team, and we'll go point guard to center. Who do you have for your point guard for November?
Oh, okay. For me, I'm split between either Tyrese Halliburton or Tyrese Maxey. Because Maxey's got a 50-point game this year, or in this month, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyrese Halliburton has been operating an offense on like New Orleans Pelicans Chris Paul type beat, like kind of overachieving with a young team.
Yeah.
And considering like Maxey is probably the better scorer, but I think I got to go with Halliburton just because he's been exceeding expectations of that Pacers team, at least for this month so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree too. I had the same choices. But I think it's just watching Halliburton play, it's like he's like a whole step ahead of his teammates and the opposing team while he is on the court. It's insane to see like some of these passes and like even plays that they run just like for each other or whatever, just to see like how well oiled of a machine that they work at, you know what I'm saying? But not to disregard Maxey, 50 points is 50 points. So he has been hooping. I feel like he's going to keep that up as well. He'll probably have another one somewhere, another 50-pointer somewhere next month. But Yeah, both of them been going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I also said Halliburton. I also was in between Maxi and Halliburton like you guys, but I also looked at LaMelo Ball because he's also been going crazy this month. But Halliburton and Maxi are just on a whole nother level this year. So yeah, I also said Halliburton. All right, shooting guard.
I have two options for this one too. Both of them have suffered injuries this month, so it's kind of hard to like give them my full confidence. But Don Mitchell, obviously, we know his caliber and his impact in the game. I also I want to slip in Cam Thomas there for a second. They gave him starting minutes, and he was hooping, man. He was scoring where he needed to score. I think the only downside is he makes like young guy mistakes, holding the ball for too long. But you know he's a scoring threat for an option. I will go with the safer option and say Don Mitchell is my choice for All Star, but I just wanted to put Cam Thomas in there.
Well, I'll make Eugene's life hard because I was gonna say Cameron Thomas, just to give him one, just to get him on the board. Their stats are relatively the same, and they're basically just as efficient with each other. Just like Vaughn said, Cameron Thomas does just make poor decisions, but I don't know. I've been liking that he has starting minutes and he's been having some pretty solid games.
I mean, it's kind of tough only because Cam Thomas only played 4 games this month.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, I know he barely gets time, playing for Brooklyn, but he is a great player, especially to watch. And it's like every time he's on the court, he's going to score. He's going to get his regardless. But I think I'm going to have to go Donovan.
Yeah.
He's just doing normal Donovan things, stats wise. I haven't watched any Cavs games other than that Laker one, but that's kind of a off-putting game because we blew them out. But I'll go Donovan.
All right, Donovan gets the nod. Yeah, I didn't even see that he played so little. Also wanted to shout out Caruso. He definitely wasn't up there. He is a player that teams should definitely be looking out for because the Bulls are looking to tear it all down.
Come back to the Lakers.
All right, small forward. This was low-key. Oh no, this was low-key hard for me only because I wanted to give someone really badly, but I couldn't. I'll just start. I'm obviously gonna say Jason Tatum, but I really, really wanted to give it to Butler. But Tatum is just like with Jaylen Brown kind of not doing poor, but also not doing 300 million good. And still being first in the East. It's like you gotta tip your hat to what he's doing over there.
Yeah, it would probably be between Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum, and I gotta go with Jason Tatum just because of the team success as well as his own success. It just looks a little bit more better on paper, but we all know Jimmy Butler's leadership and paving the way forward for the Heat down there.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go Jason Tatum, but I'm gonna just throw Giannis in there. He's averaging 31 and 11. On what, 60% shooting? Yeah, 61% shooting. So I'm gonna throw him out there. Bias aside, obviously.
Well, I guess we'll just go to power forward because I was gonna say I have Giannis for power forward. So that's why,
because I typically see him as a small forward, even though he's 8'11", but we can put him wherever. I ain't tripping.
yeah, that's where I had Giannis at. Yeah, as my power forward. For once, it was actually looking close, but the only person I also looked at was uh Mobley and Siakam, but Giannis just edged him out.
The obvious choice, and I'm not doing this to be different, but I don't know if we'll see the Magic be successful again. And a big part of that success has been Paolo. That's my choice for this month.
Mhm.
Paolo been doing on both ends, and I gotta respect him.
That's true. I'm not gonna agree, but yeah, he's been playing good.
No, for sure. And this was the first time, and like I think I've ever done these All Stars, right? Like Giannis clearly won. Like usually
Also,
Giannis just clears, but for once I almost like I was looking at other people like they might get it.
I'll throw another name out there. Bam, because his stats are looking kind of nice. He's averaging 22 and 11 on 54% shooting from the field and almost 90% from the free throw line
Mhm.
and 50% from the 3-point line, but he doesn't throw up any threes. Never mind. He's 1 for 2, literally.
If Joel Embiid didn't exist, he'd probably be my choice for center.
Does he play
So,
center?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. He just seems a little undersized.
he is an undersized, but he's got hops. That's kind of what he makes up for.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Vaughn. Uh Bam was also like I was like, okay, maybe Bam can get it. Let me look at Embiid next. Nope.
That's a
Nope.
clean sweep.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It seems like it's gonna be a while before we stop saying Embiid's name right away in these all-star videos.
Right. Unless he stops taking basketball seriously again, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
I'm most surprised though, at how well he's passing though. Like 6 assists, that's a lot, especially for a center.
yeah. Well, it seems like their ball movement is way better with the Sixers right now. I don't want to blame that on anybody who left or anything like that, but
Oh,
It could play a factor.
it kind of makes James Harden's 10 assists last season seem a little shallow compared
yeah,
to
it
like
does.
how well this team looks now.
It really does, which is sad because I felt like he was doing pretty good, but like I don't know, they're doing a lot better. All right, any honorable mentions before we move on?
I named all of mine.
I guess an honorable mention for point guard would be Jalen Brunson. He looks like the best dude in New York right now, especially
Yeah.
with Julius Randle's struggles. But he's kind of just outclassed by people doing better than him at this point.
Wait, how about Zion? I mean, ever
Pelicans are
since
West.
Yeah, what?
oh shit, yeah, we're doing East. Never mind. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I mentioned all mine. It's kind of sad. I will say it's kind of sad how shooting guards in the East are all kind of struggling right now. Um, it, like I looked at a bunch of those and I was like, okay, who's doing good right now and who's not? Like, I want like DeJounte Murray's also like 12 games, 19 points, like 5 assists, shooting 42% from the field. Like,
If there was a way to classify Trae Young as a shooting guard, I'd throw him in there. But he's such a pure point guard based on like his usage and just numbers. It just
yeah.
doesn't seem right.
And he's so small too.
Yeah.
All right. West. Who wants to kick us with West point guards?
Bro, okay, wait. Before we even start, it's so hard to name some of these players, bruh, because they're a shooting guard height, but they play point guard, or they're a point guard height and play shooting guard, you know?
Yeah. It's like the conundrum of Shea Gilgeous and Josh Giddey or Kyrie and Luca. It's how do we do this?
Are we gonna go based off their listed position?
That's what I do just to make my life easier.
All right. So then let's get it straight real quick. What is SGA listed at?
Point guard.
And Josh Giddey too? Or is Josh Giddey a shooting guard?
Well, Josh Giddey doesn't have a good enough 3-point shot to be a shooting guard. They literally just switched the position based on lineups.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, so SGA point guard. Luka, he's point guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Ant's a shooting guard. That might be it actually. Desmond Bain? He's probably not even gonna be here, but
Desmond Bane's a point guard.
he's a point guard? Okay.
Well, he's a shooting guard, but he's been putting up point guard or duties with Ja gone.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll kick us off, make our lives easier. I looked at a lot of people. I'm gonna go with SGA. It's just his numbers are off the charts, and his team is sitting second in the West. I also looked at Steph and Luka just to compare it, but like SGA's results and numbers just like edge them out for me. I do have some honorable mentions, but I'll wait for you guys to nominate your people first.
I'm in the same boat, bro. He's just playing too well to not be mentioned, you know? Through all the highlights I've seen, you know, whether that's on Instagram or like me on YouTube watching highlights of games, he's just playing way too well to not be mentioned in this episode.
Yeah, like Shea plays really good offense, just as good as he does defense. And since I gave it to Paolo for how well his team's like exceeding expectations, I got to give it to Shea as well because he's a big part of why that offense is turning. I kind of considered De'Aaron Fox, but he just recently returned.
Yeah.
And then obviously Luka's as good as he always is. But then I also consider Devin Booker, considering Bradley Beal is supposed to be playing point guard, but it's really been Devin Booker this whole time. But just SGA has been playing better on the stat sheet so far this month.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna throw out De'Aaron Fox as an honorable mention. The only reason why is because if he returned a little bit earlier, he could definitely be up for it. But he just returned too late. Only has like 7 games, I think. And but he's been killing it in his games that he's been playing recently. So that and I don't know how Kyrie is still listed as a point guard. I'm not gonna lie, haven't watched a single Magic game except for the in-season tournament, and that was like the first one of the year. So I don't know if they're like just taking turns being the point guard, but Luka and Kyrie are both labeled point guards, and I looked at Kyrie, and Kyrie's numbers aren't bad. They're doing pretty well.
I don't know why technically they have Luka at point guard. Obviously, I know he plays it, but you know, I feel like they could mark him as shooting guard, and it'll still be fine because he's still gonna run the offense. You know.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie's just too small to be listed anything higher. Yeah.
I think it's just the way they operate their offense. Luka's usually got the ball in his hand, and they give it to Kyrie to score primarily, as opposed to like his years in Cleveland and the Nets where he was looking to score and get his teammates involved.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the way they've been using him in Dallas.
Yeah. No, he's been playing pretty well in Dallas this year, and I love to see it. Oh, I just got a live update. Jokic has a back injury.
Uh-oh. Nuggets slipping.
That's crazy because I think of Jokic, I think like the most durable guy in the NBA. Like for a guy of his build, like it makes no sense why he hardly gets injuries like this.
Yeah, no facts. I mean, he got injured in the Western Conference Finals, and then he came right back out like 2 seconds later. All right, shooting guard.
I can start with this one. I'll say one because one of y'all will probably say the other. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah,
His team is first. He's literally doing everything he can to carry his team. He's not shooting from the 3-point line very well, but other than that, he's playing pretty good. He's averaging what, 27, 6 and 5, 6 and 5. Yeah. I feel like that FIBA run just improved his confidence tremendously. I don't know how much tremendously could be with what he came into the league with, but yeah, I just feel like it helped him and his career a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna say Ant.
That's great because I was biased. I was going to say Ant regardless. Just for that game against the Warriors alone, Draymond was trying to talk smack, and Edwards just said, "I'm gonna take the W." So just for that alone, I was going to vote him in.
yeah. I was also gonna say Ant. I almost said Booker, but Booker hasn't played enough games in November, in my opinion. I try to shoot for at least above 10. I think Booker has like 8.
Yeah,
So even though it would have been hard if Booker was like playing more games because I would have been in a real like struggle. But like Ant's been playing out of his mind. I think it's officially his team now. Like there's no doubt about it.
right. Which
he's
is
been-
good.
Yeah, and he's been leading them to like hard fought wins too. So all right. Any honorable mentions for shooting guards?
In the West, it's tough. There's been some injuries, like CJ McCollum. He's been injured. But maybe Desmond Bain if their team was doing better. Like he's the only like bright spot on that team right now. There's been injuries galore. Like Marcus Smart was yelling at the bench because they were like giving up too early. They're kind of an ugly team.
Yeah, I don't think I have any.
Yeah, I feel bad for Desmond Bain. He's having one of his best seasons, and they're 3-14. So
Do you think if Ja comes back, he saves that team, or is it a loss?
No, because it seems like the big issue is like their depth is finally catching up to them.
I'll say play in.
Yeah, that might be like
their peak is probably play in, especially with this terrible start.
Yeah.
Unless they go on some crazy Hawks win streak when they won like 30 in a row.
Yeah, I think play in max. I think barely play in too. It's gonna be like one of those situations where it's like a game difference. They have too many guys on their team who's in the G League for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, no offense to those players, but it's like
that's not gonna cut it in the NBA, bro.
Well, that it's also like to turn around and ask those players to produce NBA numbers like in their like first season.
Right.
Like it's gonna be hard. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, small forward.
Easy answer is LeBron James, but I also like what Brandon Ingram's been doing on the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of an iffy team with injuries too, but it's surprisingly been the Brandon Ingram and Zion Williams show down there. Somehow they're both playing all through November.
Yeah, no, I was shocked.
You know, LeBron is doing LeBron things at what, 30, 38, 39 years old. Like no one does that at his age. So I gotta vote him in.
I'll go with BI then. Just to shy away from LeBron. He has been performing really well. Him and Zion. But I still have yet to watch any Pelicans games. And in all honesty, I probably won't. But Yeah, from the stuff that I have seen, BI has been playing pretty well.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with LeBron because somehow, even though he's 59 years old, he is still more efficient than BI. I think BI is shooting like 31% from the field, and it's like 1 in 6. So I am gonna go with LeBron. I wanted to say Brandon Ingram so badly because Pelicans dynasty. I'm still rooting for that. So I want to say BI, but LeBron is just a cyborg and will continue to dominate the NBA for 10 more years. I was surprised that Kawhi Leonard I was gonna talk about Kawhi Leonard because he's also been playing. Another guy who's usually injured has played a lot of November, but his stats are kind of lower than usual. I think he's like barely averaging 20. If I think it was either like 19.8 or 20 on the dot. I don't remember.
Let me see. He's averaging 19 points.
Yeah, like
He's not getting that load management that he wants, bro.
it's rough to see, but the Clippers are a shambles right now. So
I also
not-
gotta ask, do y'all think Kevin Durant is a small forward or a power forward on the Sun?
I think he's a small forward. Because he doesn't play big. He doesn't body up, power forwards. He doesn't body up
Right.
centers, even though he's also 7'11",
Yeah. I was thinking power forward, but then like I haven't seen enough Sun games to see like what position he does play predominantly. So I was thinking they got a small lineup in my head, but if that's the case, I might have to change it to Kevin Durant.
yeah,
He's leading the month for scoring, and
Yeah,
he's
I
the
was-
reason why the Suns didn't collapse.
I got a little worried because I have KD as power forward, but if we're gonna say he's a small forward, then yeah, I also gotta say KD for small forward.
Well, okay, wait. Let's see what he's listed at.
Well, he's listed as a power forward.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's because he's so damn fucking tall, bro.
But,
He's
like-
listed as a power forward. They have Devin Booker marked as the small forward, and then Bradley Beal as a shooting guard.
Wait, what website y'all on?
I'm on ESPN.
I just Googled.
I'm on ESPN, so that's why I usually just go with what they're saying. So on ESPN, Devin Booker is a shooting guard.
Which he has not been playing. He's been playing point guard.
Yeah. So that's why that's another reason why I didn't say Devin Booker is because he's technically not a shooting guard. So that's why I like the positions can be hard sometimes because
If we're listing KD as a small forward, he's my choice for small forward.
Like, bro, they have him marked at 6'11", bro.
which is also like underplaying it. Isn't he like 7'3" or something like that?
Yes, like he's tall, literally tall as fuck. But they just mark him at 6'11", so he doesn't have to play center.
Do y'all want to say small forward for KD?
I'll say small forward.
I'm fine with it.
All right, bye LeBron. That's gonna be the shortest All-Star in Spin the Rock history. All right, then power forward. So this makes it so much more the power forward. It's so much more interesting because when I did my little ranking, I chose KD right away because he's been dominating this month. So now I gotta find a new power forward to nominate.
I'll start us off. I know that y'all probably might not agree with this, but this guy right here, Karl-Anthony Towns, he's found his groove back. It's been him and Anthony Edwards killing it. Like October, Cat did not look like himself. He kind of looked like a train wreck. And then suddenly November comes around and he's like scoring game winners. He's shooting the three as efficient as ever. And I've even seen highlight reels of him doing this exact thing, bluing in the post. He never does that. And so this is probably the most exciting I've been watching Karl-Anthony Towns play. So that's my biased reason for selecting him, but I want to hear your power forwards as well.
I'm gonna say Sabonis. He's averaging 20 and 11, with 7 assists. Believe it or not, 65% from the field, and then 63% from the free throw line. I feel like that's pretty good. Also, I haven't watched any Kings games, but if you know Sabonis, he's a hard gritty player. So that's my pick.
Okay. Damn, it comes down to me then. I have a question. Do we consider ESPN has Paul George as a power forward? Do we consider him a
No.
Okay.
He's a small forward shooting guard. There's no Kawhi would sooner play power forward than
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Then yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say Cat as well then. Because if we went off of ESPN, I would nominate Paul George because he's been having one of his better seasons in a long time. But if we're saying that's like he's a small forward, I'm gonna have to say Cat. I think Cat is has been killing it. I also looked at Zion. Zion has also been insane this month, but I think this is Cat's only now that Rudy Gobert is the center. I think this is Cat's like time to actually get some All-Star nominations from us.
I think Zion will make it though. I feel like he should be able to make one at least this season.
Oh yeah, if he keeps playing,
if he's healthy,
right?
Like, please.
And he has been. I don't. He's been, except for October, he was playing like he played 10 games this month, which is insane for for Zion.
Yeah.
I also want to throw out Lauri Markkanen. It's funny because Michael Porter Jr. got the name of not swinging the ball, and Lauri Markkanen has like 0 assists, which is insane. I think if you look at it, it's like 0.6 assists. Like that's actually kind of wild.
I was about to say, even still though, ball movement is critical in basketball. So the fact that he's not even averaging 1 is pretty wild.
It's so wild. 23 points. Yeah, I wanna just throw him out there because he's still hooping. It wasn't a fluke season so far. And then I'm surprised none of us mentioned AD since he's finally playing games.
True, but haven't seen enough yet.
All right, fair.
Haven't seen enough yet, and it needs to be more consistent.
Yeah,
still kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, I've tuned into games where he was like dominating, and I've tuned into games where he was like nowhere to be seen.
Right. So,
like for this month, he's averaging 20 points a game. So that could be like he scores 30 one game, he scores 10 the next.
Yeah. All right, and then center.
I mean, come on. There's only one right answer here. It's Jokic.
Like, bro, the centers in each respective conference, bro, is like there are none.
No facts. I mean, that's why I wonder how they're gonna do all NBA teams this year, because this might be Cat's chance to get an all NBA team, first team with Jokic at center. But yeah, it's Jokic. I mean, there's no center even close to him,
and probably won't be for a while, unless Wemby really wants to, go crazy. But
yeah. That's what they lost on. It's just like, were you just impressed by Embiid's 7 assists a game? But like, Jokic does this all the time, not just like for
on the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, no facts. I think he's like 1 assist away from averaging a triple double. Which,
like, for a center, like, who was the last guy who did that? Like Bill Walton, maybe. Like, you just don't see that nowadays.
He's averaging 39, 9.5, and 14.
Yeah.
14. He's averaging 14 rebounds, bro.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, a center averaging a triple double, like that's gotta be more impressive than Russ, right?
I would say so.
I feel like that's a conversation that's gonna have Twitter on fire.
I feel like it would be more impressive because centers aren't. The game has evolved. I won't say changed, but it has evolved. Since the 90s. So, but even still, I feel like centers aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, consider like Russ triple doubles. He was on the Thunder for most of the time. You had Steven Adams always boxing out so Russ could go grab those boards. Jokic has to grab every board because he's expected to do that, and he's running the offense as a center. Like, no one has vision like him. If we're going to do this argument of who's more impressive as a triple double, I would say it would be Jokic. Not to glaze too much, but like you just don't see this.
Yeah. We'll wait and see though. He's not there yet, so we'll see. And then I do want to shout out Sengun because he's the closest center to Jokic in the West, and it's only like his third year, I think.
Yeah, which is sad. It's kind of sad because it's like I'm not knocking Sengun's game because he's a good player, but like, there's so many other, I guess, better, maybe just more veteran centers in the West. But the fact that, a third-year player is performing so well is like, where's everyone?
Yeah, I feel like with the West, though, I was looking at it this morning, and it's either old head or, like, new to the league. It's JaVale McGee, Jonas Valanciunas, and then, like, Williams and Ayton, Wemby, Naz Reid, and then Nurkic, Gobert, Zubac. Like, it's just like Cody Zeller, Mason Plumlee, and Biyombo. Like, the West center cores are pretty atrocious.
That's why Jokic be feasting, bro.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know who's been a massive disappointment? It's DeAndre Ayton. I thought he was going to be in these discussions. That man stopped playing basketball when he went to Trailblazers.
Oh my! And he was so confident going into the season too, bro.
Dominating, like, of what?
Yeah, 14 points. He's shooting. He hasn't taken a single. Oh my God! Wait, he's never taken a 3-pointer in his career.
Really? That man pulling out Shaq numbers almost.
That's crazy. Hold on, I can see if I'm seeing that right. Okay, no, okay. The splits misled me. It's just this season.
Oh, okay.
It's just this season. He's never shot a 3. And then his rookie season, he shot 0.1 threes and made none of them.
He misses the only 3.
Okay. All right. Going over our West, SGA, and KD, Cat, and Jokic. Any honorable mentions for the West? Anyone you're thinking of right now that you're like, oh shit, we didn't mention him?
We did not mention Steph Curry at all, which I feel like he deserves at least a nomination, considering he's like the only dude doing work on the Warriors for this month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sorry for him. He had his run in the dynasties, but
Yeah,
I don't feel bad whatsoever.
no sympathy over here. Yeah, I definitely looked at Steph Curry, but yeah, I think we kind of glazed over him because we're too busy trying to figure out what exactly was a point guard.
Right.
So I think he just kind of got lost in all that. But you're right, Steph Curry definitely should be nominated. He's definitely he's probably gonna get one this year for sure. Like you said, he's the only one putting in work over there. And it's not like the numbers he's putting up is like useless too. His numbers are getting them the few wins they have. It's the other teammates who are getting them their losses. Mans can't sit on the bench. All right. And now the question I asked at the end of all of this, East versus West, who would win? Just to go through the lineups. We got Halliburton versus SGA, Mitchell versus Ant, Tatum versus KD, Cat versus Giannis, and Jokic versus Embiid.
Say that one more time.
Halliburton versus SGA, Mitchell versus Ant, Tatum versus KD, Giannis versus Cat, and Jokic versus Embiid.
I think I'm gonna go West only because Donovan. Like, we did list him as an all-star, but like he's also been playing hurt. So I guess if we're taking like the realness into it, but even still, hypothetically, I'm probably taking the West.
I just think the West is probably taller at every position as opposed to like Donovan Mitchell is probably the shortest guy. I would say West would probably win that. Plus the playmaking just all around is better.
Right. Like Donovan doesn't really pass as much either. He can. He's definitely capable, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree West. I just think I agree with everything you guys said. Though I think what came down to me though is the guards. I think the forwards on the east side of things are more scary, but the guards are just like SGA and Ant is just like scoring out the building. That's one of those games that go to 170. All right. That's probably what we're going to call it. If you're listening on all podcast platforms, make sure you give us that good old 5 stars. Leave down a review. Let us know who you think should be on our November All-Stars. For video format, we're on YouTube at Spin the Rock. So make sure you like and subscribe over there and check us out for the video version of the podcast. We're on all social media platforms at Spin the Rock. So make sure you check us out there for clips and episode updates. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.